Welcome to another episode of the Phin Outta Water Football Show. I am your host with the most, B Herbo. And I got my brother from another mother, Rod, man, in the building with me. I know you hear the enthusiasm. I know you hear the grit, the God, the audacity in my voice. Why is that, Rod? You let the people know.
Ah, let me tell you. I'll say it in three simple words, Herbie. And I got some family here, but hopefully they don't get too shocked. Fuck the Jets, Herbie.
Fuck
Fuck 'em.
them. Fuck them.
Fuck 'em. They're done.
Rod, let me.
They're done.
We are on the heels of you defeating the New York Jets 32-26 in what was actually a really fucking good game. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, my experience might be completely different from your experience, Rod, and all of the Miami Dolphin fans out there. But I will say this: when the New York Football Jets went up 23-15, I was like, I'm not finna show up. We're not streaming. Like, we talk too much shit about the Jets for us to come out here and pretend that we didn't talk all that shit. So I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I was out here rooting like I was a Dolphins fan, dog. I was like, yeah, nigga, fuck, oh shit, Jonnu Smith, Jonnu Smith. Dude, we have talked too much shit, kicked the back end
Way
of the
too
New
much
York
shit.
Jets too fucking much for you motherfuckers to do something that y'all have not done since 2014, which is lose a home game to the New York Jets. And thank God you
No.
guys pulled this one out in beautiful
Oof.
fashion at that, man. So, Rod, the floor is yours,
Facts.
man. This is your team. This is your domain, bro. Take me through your Sunday 1 o'clock to 4:15, my good sir.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Herbie. This was one of those games this was a really frustrating game to watch. Large in part due to the fact that it was one of those weird games, Herbie, that it was both a good and a bad game at the same time. So people might be like, what do you mean? It was a good game in the sense that we didn't get our first punts until like the fourth quarter or like the late third quarter of this game. Both offenses were moving the ball and they were scoring, but it was a bad game in the sense that, at one point the Dolphins were 1 for 7 on third down. Like the Jets were terrible on third down as well. Like both teams did not move the ball well on third down. And as a fan, it was frustrating, Herbie, just because, look, the Jets have a bad record, but they're a talented team, right? Like at the end of the day, no matter how much I dislike the Jets, they've been in a bunch of fucking one score games. They've kept up a lot of games close because they have talent, and they're a division rival, and obviously their season's over. But I could tell the Jets really wanted to finish us, dog. Like I got that feeling. Like as I watched the game, frustrated as hell because the defense just seemingly couldn't stop them early on. Like it got to the point, Herbie, like when we were punting in the fourth quarter, I was like, damn, why are we even punting? Like we haven't stopped them all day. Credit to the defense, credit to the guys like Zach Saylor, Calais Campbell, Chop Robinson, the front seven coming through, applying pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were getting their asses kicked all game, but they got it together towards the end. And, it was even frustrating watching the offense, Herbie, because we just kept stalling. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing worse than field goal football, Herbie. When you get into the red zone, you got to keep kicking three, keep kicking three. But I'm also kind of happy that Mike McDaniel dialed back his aggression because we really haven't been a good fourth down team this year. Both the Jets and the Dolphins have not been good fourth down teams. So, it was a frustrating game to watch, Herbie, but I got to tell you, man, like it was one of those games that had my butt cheeks clenched because, like you said, we've been giving it to the Jets this season. Like every chance that I get, I rub it in their faces how much of a disastrous season it is. And for the Jets, Herbie, if the Texans finish my season, if the 49ers finish our season, hell, I'll take the Browns. It can't be the Jets, Herbie. It can't be the Jets that finish the Dolphins, bro. Not for me, bro. I've talked
Nah,
way too much shit, bro.
and
It
that's
can't
where
be the
that's
Jets.
where I was with it too, because I was like, bro, these motherfuckers really finna lose this game, dog. Like, I was dreading having to edit all the clips and everything that we had to do for social if you guys would have lost this game, dog. Like, the like I would have went ghost for the whole week, bro. People would have been like, "Ooh, where y'all at? Where y'all at? Y'all been talking so." Listen, I have, I got videos of us
Oh.
kicking the back end of the Jets that I haven't even posted because I'm like, we talk so much shit about them that it's redundant. I can't keep posting us shitting on the fucking Jets. I got shit tucked in that I haven't even posted that won't see the day of light. The light of day, I mean, bruh. So this was it was very, 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 very imperative that you guys pulled it out. And I love the way that you guys pulled it out because y'all didn't win on a kick on a field goal. Y'all didn't win on a technicality. Y'all didn't win on some bullshit call. Y'all didn't win on a bullshit pass interference that got you down there. No, you got the ball first in overtime. And this is, you feel me? Like, you guys are most likely not going to make the playoffs. And this is ultimately going to be another failed season for the Miami Dolphins. But this is a different Dolphins team from an outside observer. And I can say that with confidence. The reason why I know this is a different team is because when it went to overtime and you guys, they had the coin flip and you guys won the coin flip, the excitement, the confidence, and the preparedness for you guys to get that ball first. Tua knew y'all was scoring. You couldn't tell that man y'all was not going to score on that first drive. Like, it's one thing to this team kick a field goal, you kick a field goal, and then you get the ball back and you kick another field goal and you win. No, it's another to win on the opening drive in overtime. Really good teams win on the opening drive in overtime. Can I say that the Dolphins are a really good team? They're under 500. So by that alone, I could say no. But this is a different Dolphins team. This is a different Dolphins regime. And these are the games that make me say, bro, is Mike McDaniels a perfect coach? No. But you're not going to do too much better than him. So all you motherfuckers that are ready to get this guy out of town, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, shut up. Shut the fuck up. But I don't want this to be a Mike McDaniel thing. And we lost Rob for a second, so let me go ahead and get full screen on, man. So I don't want this to be a Mike McDaniel thing. I don't want this to be a Mike McDaniel thing, 100% and whatnot. Oh, well, we got you. Well, we got Rob
Back,
back.
man.
All right, you back. So I don't want this to be a Mike McDaniel thing, but because I want to stick to the game. But I just can't help but explain my thought process as an outside observer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody who's not a fan. That's the first thing that I thought. When Jonnu Smith got that touchdown on a beautiful design, I said, suck it, you fucking Mike McDaniel haters. You see? You see that the fucking design he drew up? Shut the fuck up, you bitch ass motherfuckers. Spoiled brats. But I digress, Rod. So take me through your experience on that opening drive. How did you feel about the opening drive? How did you feel about how successful about you guys were on the opening drive? And did you think you were going to score a touchdown on that opening drive, sir?
You know, Herbie, with the way that the Dolphins had played all afternoon, I wasn't really quite sure how to feel. Like I had already gone through the emotional roller coaster of the jet of the it was a seesaw game, right? Like it was a back and forth game. We opened the game with a score. The Jets came back, took the lead. They remained in the lead until we tied it at the end. Like it was a very stressful game to watch throughout. So I was relieved when we got the coin toss in overtime, but I wasn't quite sure because the offense, despite moving the ball all day, they had their moments where they didn't really weren't on the same page. There were times where, Tua and a receiver were off by a little bit, which goes in line, which is like the weakness of this team. And which I'm surprised more teams don't do it, Herbie. Like this is a team that is super predicated on timing and being in rhythm. And Tua is a heavy anticipation thrower. So there's a lot of times like if him and his receiver aren't on the same page, it looks like he's missing a nigga by a while, but in reality, receiver might have got jammed or got caught up in traffic. So, there's a lot of varying factors that go in. But to watch the Dolphins, watch Tua and the Dolphins offense methodically march downfield up until all the way he scored the touchdown with confidence. Like this is honestly, Herbie, and I just gotta say this, Herbie. I just gotta say this as a Dolphin fan, and I'm not talking to all other Dolphin fans because I know there are plenty of Dolphin fans out there that do have sense. But for the Dolphin fans out there who take their time to just like there are literally trolls, Herbie, that just spread Tua hate all the time. There's either you niggas are new or you just like there's no fucking way, Herbie. You've been watching this team for the past 20 years prior to Tua, and you're upset with him out of all the problems that we have. Like Herbie, Tua is literally one of the best players on the team. I do not understand. I don't care about outside fans, like people like yourself, people who don't know the Dolphins, they can think whatever they want, Herbie, because they don't keep up with the team. That's why anybody who, any team that we talk about, don't get offended. It's just our opinion. Like, y'all know y'all teams. You know what I'm saying? And I know my team, but it grinds my gears when someone who knows this team or who should know this team is upset most of all with the quarterback. And here's what they got to say now, Herbie. Oh, it was the Jets. Oh, the Jets, their defense wasn't healthy. We're not healthy, so we're not giving ourselves credit. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if we lose the game, what do you say? Oh, but because we won the game, oh, it was too close. It was too close. Like, there are some fans, Herbie, and I'm sure every fan base has them. I know it's not just Dolphin fans, but there are always fans who want to be miserable. There are always fans who just can't take the good with the bad. This is the NFL. It doesn't matter how good a team is. You have teams that are going to obviously, regardless of the record, the talent level of every team is pretty similar. So we're going to have tough games against teams that aren't good. This was a trap game of all trap games, Herbie. The Dolphins have no room for error. Even the announcers were just like Kevin Harlan and the other guy, they just kept saying, like, man, the Dolphins need this game. The Dolphins need this game because we did. Like, we have no room for like losing a game is we're done. Like every single game from now on for the Dolphins this season. And I'm not someone who thinks we're gonna make the playoffs. But what I would want to see, even with this season possibly most likely being a lost season, I want to see these niggas try. I want to see the fight. And first, and I ain't gonna lie, Herbie, when we were down 15-23 in the fourth quarter, I started cursing at. I was like, man, these niggas ain't got no heart. These bitch ass niggas. Like, I was ready to throw in the towel, and then obviously we were able to make that comeback, convert the 2-point conversion, and shit got real. But nah, when that final drive was a thing of beauty, Herbie. I mean, we were methodical on that drive. Tua was a surgeon. And I want to make note of something, Herbie, because this is the respect that Tua's starting to get in the league. Aldrich, who was the interim head coach for the Jets, he compared Tua to Drew Brees. He said, hey, man, when we prepare for Tua, we prepare for him like we're preparing for Drew Brees. Herbie, that's a hell of a compliment from someone who's considered one of your peers. That's how people are starting to look at this man. The man is at Herbie. Tua might break Drew Brees' completion percentage record, which is ridiculous. Dude has 17 touchdowns and 4 picks on the season, and 3 of his interceptions came in one game. Like, who knows how far the Dolphins would be ahead had he not gotten hurt? And he blames himself. I read the interview where like Tua blames himself as he should. You literally ran into somebody and caught a concussion. That was 100% avoidable. You could have slid, and the rest would have been history. But at the end of the day, we are where we are now. And the thing that makes me, I guess, the thing that Dolphin fans can be happy about is that the team hasn't quit. The team still has some fight in them. You know what I'm saying? And we see, we have a lot of dumb fans, but there are a lot of fans who recognize, like, listen, Tua may not be one of the top 5 maybe quarterbacks in the league because there are certain things he doesn't give you. But when's the last time we had a top 10 level quarterback in any capacity, Herbie? Like, we haven't even been close to that, not even with Tannehill. So it's just like, dude, Dolphin fans, like, we have a lot of other problems with this team, starting with the GM that we need to worry about. The GM who can't fix the offensive line, which would help a pocket passer. I guarantee, Herbie, I meant to do the research and I didn't do it, but I'll make sure I have it ready for the next podcast. I want to do research on all the great quarterbacks and the level of play their offensive line gave them. Because I remember, for the most part, Drew Brees has some great offensive lines. Peyton Manning has a Hall of Famer in like Jeff Saturday who's in front of him. Peyton has some really good to great offensive line. Brady had all the great pocket passers, dude, had awesome to okay to good, top half of the league, top 10 in the league offensive lines. What do we have, Herbie? Perennially, this year they're ranked a little higher. But for the most part, our offensive lines are never, like, it's not up to boot. So the Dolphins have to do their part, because at the end of the day, Herbie, people have this crazy mentality where if your quarterback isn't a superhero, they're in the wrong. No, Herbie, GMs get paid to get picks. Coaches get paid to develop players. It shouldn't just always be on all the quarterback. What they're doing to Pat Mahomes in Kansas City, he shouldn't be wearing a badge for that. You should get that man some talent because you know what he could do with it. You know, the same thing with quarterbacks like Josh Allen. At the end of the day, it's on the organization to put talent around the players that they want to succeed. And clearly, you have a top 10 quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa. What you got to do is do the things that can help him best. And you know he's not mobile. So you should focus more on protecting him. So, my bad, man. I didn't even mean to go on a
Oh
rant
nah,
about
yeah,
that. You know what I'm
you definitely
saying?
went on the
I
deep
didn't even
end,
mean to.
dog. You been holding this in. You been holding this in. You went on the deep end, my boy. You been on the deep
You
end.
know what it is, Herbie? You know what it is, Herbie? I'm just frustrated with some of the fans in our fan base who just have like no grace. Like they're just so
Okay,
it's
so
just
this
people
is what
have
we'll
reached
do.
a point. No,
No. This is what we'll do because I want to
go
come
ahead, go
back to
ahead.
that, right? Because I don't want to get straight too far from the game itself.
The game.
So
Yeah.
keep that. Make a mental note of what you're gonna say. Keep a mental note because we're gonna come back around to that before we transition over to the red zone observations, right? But I do want to talk about the game itself, right? So we haven't done this in a while, but I do want to bring it back for this one, man. So week 14 edition, man. What went right in your eyes? What went wrong in your eyes? And what the fuck? Starting with what went right. What went right for the Miami Dolphins against the Jets today, Rod?
What went right for the Dolphins, Herbie, was I would say the passing game was right for the Dolphins. Really, the passing game might have been the only thing that was kind of right for the Dolphins. And to add further to that, I would say late game execution, right? Execution in overtime was what went right for us. Like we were struggling with the Jets throughout today. We couldn't score field goals when we needed to. We were able to move the ball. We were able to move the ball all day. We didn't start punting until late in the game. But ultimately, what went right for the Dolphins was we were able to throw the ball all over the yard on the Jets team. Granted, Sauce wasn't playing. Like I get it, you know what I'm saying. But they have a top ranked defense, which says a lot. That we were still able to throw it all over the yard on them. But I would say what went right for us was late game execution and Tua in the passing game.
All right. This is the thing I want to expand upon for just a brief moment, right? Two in the passing game. Two is carrying your offense. Like y'all couldn't run the ball for shit this game. Like that is
We haven't been able to run the ball for weeks.
and we normally assign that to great quarterback play. Like this is the thing about Tua, and again, I'm an outside observer. I'm not a Dolphins fan, right? I'm just a person that hosts a Dolphins podcast or fan cast, as I should say. But I have never seen somebody get less credit for doing the things that all the great quarterbacks do. He is productive. He doesn't get credit for being productive. He is consistent. He does not get credit for being consistent. He is carrying the offensive load and not getting help from a running game. He does not get any credit for that whatsoever. Like nobody even mentions that you guys don't have a running game, bro. So, I know that drives you crazy. I know it does.
Herbie, that's the sad thing is when it comes to Tua, Herbie, it like we always say it on this podcast, like a first impression is a lasting impression. And for whatever reason, like people just have not forgiven
Perception
this
is
man for his
reality,
first
man.
perception is reality. And people have
Yeah.
not forgotten how he looked. And listen, Herbie, I haven't forgotten how he looked when he played under Brian Flores, but I also have come to terms and understand the circumstances. I also understand why he looked the way he did, why the offense looked the way they did, because we had two offensive coordinators, Herbie, because we had people in the building who didn't know how to do their jobs. So when the people at the top can't do their jobs, you can't expect the people below them to completely be able to always overcome that. And even without realizing it, Tua has always made the players around him better. I challenge you, Herbie. I challenge anybody. Name me the receivers that Tua had his first 2 years outside of Waddle, who he got his second year. Where are they now, Herbie? Where are they now, Herbie? They're not even on practice squads no more. These were our starters. Lynn Bowden was a starter.
Ooh.
Preston Williams was a starter.
Hey
Like,
man,
who are
you
these
said
guys, Herbie?
you saying
You'll see
people
these
that
niggas at Walmart now.
Hey, those names, they don't sound like they got any kind of aura, dog. That Princeton, I don't want my receiver to be named Princeton, dog. Hell nah, man. Ain't no aura behind that. A wide receiver named Princeton? Nah, yeah, he was set up for failure, dog, for sure. But he was doomed. At Linston? You said Linston? That's one of your wide receivers?
Preston.
No, the other one.
Preston.
The
Oh,
other
Lynn
one.
Bowden. Lynn
You had
Bowden.
a wide
Lynn
receiver
Bowden.
named Lynn. Come on, dog. Be for real, man. Y'all niggas was so unserious back in 2020. Y'all was so unserious. Y'all was so Lynn, a wide receiver named Lynn Bowden
Bro.
as a wide
That's what I'm
receiver
saying,
too.
Herbie.
Unserious organization, man.
Super
No
unserious, bro.
aura, no aura
So
behind that at all.
so so it's just like you said, like Herbie, it's a super frustrating thing. Like, listen, I get it. The guy can't do certain things. He's not a Mahomes type. He's not a Allen
Once
or
in a
Lamar.
gen,
I get it, Herbie.
God forbid he's not a once in a generation, once in a 30-year prop player, bro. I'm sorry, dog. Like, God forbid, bro.
That's what I'm
God,
saying. Like, what are people expecting? Like, at the end of the day, Herbie, and the saddest thing about Tua too is, Herbie, I feel like the only people who really appreciate his ability, outside of like obviously fans of the team that just don't hate, are people who actually watch film. Because,
Mhm.
Herbie, anybody, especially ex NFL players, ex NFL quarterbacks, watch them break down Tua's film, Herbie. They're damn near ready to blow a load all over the
Nah,
fucking film.
yeah, Dan, you can't. Dan Arlovsky want to make love to the fucking all 22, bro. He wants to fuck it, bro. Like when he talk about Tua,
Oh
bro.
my
So
god.
yeah, I
What?
understand.
JT O'Sullivan when he talks about him. Kurt Warner. All these guys, when they talk about him, they describe the things that the old school great quarterbacks used to do. But because it's Tua, because of the name he has, because of
Hmm.
what he hasn't accomplished, and Herbie, that's the only that to me, Herbie, when it comes to Tua, you push the injuries aside, him as a player, he's an elite quarterback. He's a great quarterback. He's an elite passer. To be an elite quarterback in this day and age, you kind of got to go above and beyond. That's what
Yeah,
everybody
that's what
tells
comes. That's
me.
what it is. That's what it is.
That you know
You
what I'm
have to.
saying?
You have to.
But
Okay, so Tua is an elite passer, but he's not an elite football player, right? And that's not his fault.
exactly.
Like that's Tua is great, and you could win a Super Bowl with Tua. That's ultimately not everybody's a fucking cyborg freak of nature, dog. It's only like three at
Yes.
any given time in any generation, right?
Josh
Is this
Allen is Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson. Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. Who else? Come
That's
on.
it.
What are we doing
That's
here?
where it get. Everybody else
Like,
is this person good enough to win a Super Bowl with. I'm comfortable at the stage of saying that you could do that with Tua, right? So back to the game itself, though. What in your eyes went wrong, and why is it the fucking defense again? Just go ahead. Just spoiler alert. It's the defense. What went wrong with the fucking defense again, bro? Who gave up over 400 yards to the New York Jets? Who gave up the
bro,
first 300-yard game to Aaron Rodgers out of his
in
last
30 games.
130 games? What is going on with this defense? What is going on? And again, it was number 5 was getting abused by number 5.
Oh,
Jalen
oh.
Ramsey was getting hell from Garrett Wilson. That boy
No,
was
Garrett
putting
A.
BTA belt to ass on Jalen Ramsey today. So, what is going on, sir? What is going on, sir?
Oh man, Herbie. Well, you know what it is, Herbie. First and foremost, I think what's really hurt the defense a lot is just, we've had a ton of injuries, bro, especially in the front seven. Losing, not having Bradley Chubb out there, not having Jalen Phillips, who were our two best pass rushers last season. Um, that's number one. We lost Van Ginkel in the offseason, Christian Wilkins in the offseason. Zach Sealer has always been a baller for us. Calais Campbell, year 17, has been a godsend. And Chop Robertson is a rookie who he's catching his footing. So we really don't have any premier pass rusher. So even though we can kind of get a little pressure with 4, at the end of the day, we have to run a lot of simulated pressures, throw a lot of blitzes in order to really, really generate pressure. And that is putting our corners on an island. And because our front can't really put pressure on quarterbacks like that, like towards the end of the game, we were able to we were wearing, the Jets offense had worn down a bit. we started finally, Zach Sealer started getting sacks and Calais started getting pressure. We started getting more pressure as the game went on. But for whatever reason, Herbie, like at the end of the day, our defense, without those premier pass rushers to really speed up the process of the quarterbacks, um, we're kind of dead in the water. As you can see, Jalen Ramsey is not what he once was. Like I noticed it today, Herbie. Like he was getting cooked, baked chicken. Like that boy was on a skillet today, man. Like Garrett Wilson took him to the woodshed today. Devontae Adams. I think both of those niggas had over 100 yards. So that goes to show you that Kendall Fuller and Kader Kohu and all of our corners were just all our corners had a rough day today against the Jets receivers. But I wouldn't even just put it all on the defense, Herbie. I wouldn't even put it all on the defense, Herbie. The offensive line, too. I feel bad for our running backs, Herbie. I feel bad for them because they don't have any holes to run. Like, there are so many times, like, our guard play is so atrocious. Robert Jones and Liam Eichenberg, Herbie, these motherfuckers, they can't do anything right. Ever since we lost Austin Jackson, our ability to run the ball has completely plummeted, has completely gone down the drain. And I was especially early in the game on the first drive where we kept trying to punch the ball in. The Jets ended up having a penalty, and we got another set of downs every single time except for when Devon Achan was able to get the ball in. We would run, and you would just see these niggas getting like Liam Eichenberg and Robert Jones are grown ass men, Herbie, and they're getting pushed back. Like there are times, Herbie, you watch film and you see Liam Eichenberg sitting on his ass, Herbie, after a play. There are times you see Robert Jones looking around after a play. It's like, man, we can't do anything. Like we can't really be the best offense we can be with guys like that. And then you have Teron Armstead who gets hurt. So now Patrick Paul, who's a rookie, as far as I know, you know what I'm saying, and I haven't watched the film of the game yet, but from what I could tell, he had a pretty good day because I didn't hear his name get called. He wasn't letting niggas get beat. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't holding anybody. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it, Herbie, the offensive line play, especially in the run blocking, they've been better the pass blocking and plus Tua, which is another thing he doesn't get as much enough credit for, gets the ball out so fast all the time. Herbie, I don't think people realize how exhausting it has to be to almost have to get rid of the ball in 2 seconds. Like Tua literally almost has to get rid of the ball in 2 seconds or he's screwed. So it's just like you're dealing with that kind of shit going on. So, what we're wrong today, Herbie, was the defense took a little too long to get going. They eventually got going, which we could slide into what went right. But the defense and the offensive line, Herbie, no bueno, man. They've been no bueno this year.
Yeah, man, and it was disappointing because it's like at times you can see that the defense is coming together, but it's just the inconsistency. And I remember you said it. I don't know, probably like 4 or 5 pods ago. You said this team is a can't get right team, right? Like when the offense is right, the defense is poor. When the defense is playing good, the offense is a mess, bro. So it's a can't
Always.
get right team, bro.
It's one or the other. It's one or the other, bro. It's always one
And
or the
and
other.
I and to me that speaks to a lack of focus, right? Because I think when you guys had Skyler and you had I can't remember his name, but when Tua was out,
Oh, Tyler
I
Huntley. Tyler Huntley,
Tyler
yeah.
Huntley, I felt like the defense felt like they had to step up and they had to be locked in, or you guys would have had no chance. And now that they have Tua back, I think they lost that focus because if you could play if you could hold teams to 16 and 13 and 12 points when Tua was out, that means that you guys were fully focused. And now that Tua is there, you're not as completely engaged as you should be, bro. And again, championship football has to be symbiotic, bro. Special teams, defense, offense, all have to be locked in at the same fucking time, dog. Nobody can take a
Facts.
day off. Nobody can take a week off. Nobody can take a possession off because that's how you end up 6-7 when you do shit like that.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely, bro.
and
Absolutely, bro. You
and
hit it on
that
the head.
and that's what I'm watching. If you guys were always bad on defense the entire season, I'd be like, y'all just a bad defense. No, you guys are a capable defense, but you are a inconsistent defense. And listen, BTA, Belta Ass, Kalot, Zoklo, whatever you want to call it, Jalen Ramsey, bro. Hey, it happens to the best of them, dog. You got to just charge that one to the game, right? The
Yeah, he got
hope
it today.
is,
He got it.
the hope is that's not what we're gonna see going forward from number 5. It is extremely hard to play cornerback. It's extremely hard to play it as long as he's played it. You got to remember, he was in the same draft with Ezekiel Elliott. That's a very long
Yep.
time ago. I think what it was 2015, might be the 2015 draft.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a long time, dog. Like to be a high end quarterback, that's a testament to him. You don't make it that long at that position, dog. Your legs
No,
get
that's
cooked.
facts.
Like that's a lot of backpedaling. That's a lot of.
Honestly, you can see the age on him, Herbie. You can see
Of
it a little bit. He's an
course.
old dog now. He's
Think
an
about
old
this.
dog
Think
now,
about this.
man.
Like think about this.
You can
Seriously,
see.
think about this. He was drafted a spot after Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott is running like he got a fucking grand piano on his back right now, dog. Like this shit goes. When it goes for football players, dog. It goes fast, bro. So we just gotta hope that that was just a charge it to the game, right? Versus, oh, this is what he is now. Because when you fall off a cliff at that position, there's no hiding you. You can't be hidden. You either got to play
No.
zone or it's going to be a lot of yards given up, man. So before we get back to that point with Chris Greer, though, we have one more thing we have to ask.
Herbo. Or maybe it's me. Sharing this on Facebook. Had to share this. Herbo. Oh, you
Yeah, yeah,
back?
yeah, I'm
Or
back. My
was it?
bad. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it
Oh, okay.
dropped on
At
my
first,
end, too.
I wasn't sure if it was me or not. You know what
Nah,
I'm saying?
it just completely. It's the same thing happened to you, happened to me, bro. But like I was saying, bro. So, what is your what the fuck? And I'll give mine's before you give yours, because this is gonna be funny.
Go ahead.
My what the fuck in this game was Jason Sanders didn't completely botch the game. What the fuck? Like, what? Let's go. Like, I'm not gonna lie. When Jason Sanders was there to tie the game at 26, I'm like, dog, this shit is getting shanked. And
We
even
gotta
when
have
it went in,
we gotta have faith in this motherfucker, man.
even when it
Damn.
went in and the referees did this, I still wasn't completely sure, dog, because it's Jason Sanders, dog. Like, I wasn't sure until I saw that shit say 26-26, bro. So that's just my what the fuck. What was your what the fuck from this game?
You know what's funny, Herbie? We have similar what the fucks, but mine is a little different. My what the fuck for Jason Sanders is this. Jason, how the hell do you hit 50-yard field goals, 57-yarder, 52-yarder, and you miss the PAT to start the game? How do you, Herbie, when he missed that kick to start the game, I thought that was an omen, dog. I thought that
Yeah.
was the sign that this was going to be one of those games, just much like Malik Washington muffing the punt last week. I was thinking to myself, like, damn, this man missed the PAT. Are you serious? Like it's spelled doom to me, Herbie. That was my. But then he went on and he was money the rest of the game. But it was
Money.
just one of those WTF moments where it's just like, dude, like these kickers, man, like what's going on, bro? The PAT getting moved back really was that? It was that bad of a thing for them, man. Like it was that bad of a thing for
And
them.
you know what
Like,
though? I do
that shit
like that
crazy.
the NFL did that because it was to the point. Because I think the stat was it was like 97% was converted, and it was just to the point. It was like, why even have them out there? What's the point? Like, just get. It was getting to the point where you're just like, bro, just make it 7. Like, they don't miss these.
Facts.
So them pushing it back, it added intrigue, it added spice, and it's not a guarantee anymore. And it ultimately affects the game because now you guys have to completely change how you do things. You're gonna have to go for it to get that point back. You might have to say strategize a little bit differently. The fact that he missed that point after is why the game went to overtime to begin with. Because if he didn't miss that point after, y'all scored that touchdown. Instead of it being 23-23, it's 23-24. Or it's 26-27. I should say.
Right.
Game's over.
Right,
There's
right,
no
right.
in the regulation. So That point after that he missed so early in the game came
First
back
drive, first
and
possession, dog.
affected everything down to the last fucking drive in regulation, bro. So I'm a fan of it. But man, when these dudes miss, you just be like, come on, dog. Like, come
It
on.
drives me crazy, man. It drives me crazy. It really
All
does.
right, man. So let's go back and circle back to what you were saying before you went off the deep end, boy. Because man, I could tell that you were very passionate, and I do apologize for cutting you off because I did
Nah,
have
you
to
good.
get that in. You feel me? I had to put my producer hat and make sure that we
Oh,
get that segment out of the way. Go ahead.
before we go back to that, I do want to say this, man, because I want to be better about this moving forward on the pod.
What's
When I
up?
talk about the Dolphins game, I do want to talk about the other team too, because it takes two teams to play. And obviously, Herbie, of course, I want to talk a little bit about the Jets. I'm going to say this about the Jets, Herbie. I'm going to say this. I think what probably makes Jets fans more sick than anything is the fact that they have gotten to see what this team could be in every game, and they still fall flat on their faces every game. And every game, the Jets have been in just about every game, Herbie. I can't really think of too many games this season where they got completely shellacked. Like the Jets, between their defense, between A Rod and what they have on offense, with the talent that they have, even without Brees Hall on offense, they still have two badass running backs and Braylon Edwards and Isaac. Like they got like the Jets have talent all over their team. But it just goes to show how snake bitten this organization is, Herbie, that they have one of the most legendary quarterbacks of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a run of quarterbacks going to teams late and riding off into the sunset, winning
Mm-hmm.
championships. We saw Peyton Manning do it. We
Mm-hmm.
saw
Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers do it. I mean, not yeah, but that's what I
Tom
meant.
Brady.
You saw Tom Brady. Tom Brady did it. You know what I'm saying? Hell,
You
we've even seen
saw
Matt
you
Stafford do
saw
it.
you saw Matt Stafford win the Super Bowl, even though it's a little bit different because he's not that far along the way Aaron Rodgers is. You
Right,
saw
right,
you
right.
saw uh you saw Joe Cool go to the go to the Chiefs and get to an AFC championship game. Like
Mm-hmm.
hey man, he is the one. And again, it is that's why I've said it multiple times, bro, but this shit has to be like a foregone conclusion. The Bears always have to be an embarrassment. The Jets always have to be an embarrassment. The Jacksonville Jaguars always have to be an embarrassment, dog. Like as long as the NFL exists, there was a pact made with the NFL gods that for this to prosper, for this to be this machine that it is, you have to sacrifice three teams into perpetuity. It is the Jets, it is the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it's the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears were
Crazy.
awful today. The Jaguars won a game they had
They
no
had it rough,
business
man.
winning today. And the New York Jets create new ways to lose. Create them. I mean,
Week after week, man.
scientifically get have the greatest engineers. They type it into Chat GPT and said, "How do we lose this week?" And Chat GPT says this, bruh, spits it out, bruh, spits out that script. They find new ways to lose, and it's one thing to lose. It's another to lose the way the Jets lose, and it's another to lose when you guys were supposed to be the the Lions. You're supposed to be the Vikings. You were supposed to be the Chiefs or the Chargers or whatever. You're supposed to be up there with them. We're watching the Minnesota Vikings have a mediocre quarterback change their entire season, bro. Threw 5 touchdowns. Sam Darnold is being more of an Aaron Rodgers than Aaron Rodgers this season, bro. All of this shit is fucked up, man. And y'all had Sam Darnold. That's what makes it worse. Perpetuity, bro. They will always be bad. They will always be an embarrassment, dog. And I love it, man. I'm here for it, man. I have adopted in New York Jets hate, bro. By association, dog. I've adopted it, dog.
Herbie, here's the crazy part. These guys, they had Sam Darnold and Geno Smith.
Crazy.
They had both of them, dog. And look at
Crazy.
that goes that this listen, Herbie, this goes to show you the power that organizations have over the
Mm-hmm.
success or non-success of the players on their team, especially quarterbacks. For the fact that Geno Smith is on a division leader, he was a playoff team last year. They're probably going to win the division this year with Geno under a new head coach. So it's not like it was just Pete Carroll. Like
Mm-hmm.
Geno's legitimately a top 10 ish quarterback. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
know why anyone would
French
debate
top
that
10.
now. Like
Yeah,
he's
French top 10 for
French
sure.
top 10 quarterback, easy. So you see that. I'll never say that about Sam Darnold. What I will say about Sam Darnold is, you know what? I'll keep my thoughts for him for my red zone thoughts because he's on there.
Oh, just
But
keep it, keep it, keep it.
To your point, Herbie, the Jets, the Bears. I mean, maybe Caleb might be able to do it. Maybe it
Maybe
wasn't
we'll
looking
see.
like that today.
Okay, how
It wasn't
about
like
this
that
though?
today,
How
but
about this? Because I think that's a good point to transition off of, right? Like you're talking about organizations, you're talking about organizations putting teams in the best way to succeed, and again, that gives us opportunity to come all the way come back full circle to what we were talking about earlier, bro. So, question is this, man? Chris Greer, is his time up? I want you to finish with your thoughts that you had earlier when you were absolutely revving hot, and Chris Gear was catching your ire. And there's two things that you were talking about. You're talking about Chris Greer, and you're talking about the fans who don't know shit about Tua, bro. So we already, matter of fact, I think we resolved the Tua. Like we kind of finished that off. So what do you have to say about Chris Greer? Because we
well,
talked about it. We talked about it last week, and to see the lack of depth in a game like this, where you guys had to gut it out, and it shows that he has not been doing his thing on his end as far as a GM. How do you feel about the question that I'm proposing right now?
I mean, Herbie, look, I'm not a Chris Greer fan. Like I have throughout the past few seasons, I've given Chris Greer a lot of grace as a Dolphin fan, just because he's hit on like he's been better than some GMs we've had before him, Herbie. But you know what? I've realized something in life, Herbie. Just because what you've come across is better than what you had, doesn't mean you got to keep fucking with it. Because if you have any kind of self respect, you can always do better. So the way I look at it, Herbie, Chris Greer has been an okay GM, right? He hit on the quarterback. He hit on a few picks. He's hit on some of his picks. He's gotten some really good free agent pickups. He's also gotten some pickups that we would love to forget, like the Will Fullers of the world and shit like that, like niggas who just didn't contribute at all. So we've seen a mix of him, but Herbie, at the end of the day, me and many other fans in the fan base have we've lost faith in Chris Greer just because at the end of the day, I feel like Herbie, when you are someone who runs a business or when you're someone who runs any kind of when you're in charge of something and you're tasked with making sure you hire the right people or have the right people in the building or whatnot, I think you feel like you could trust someone more who will address your weaknesses and make sure that when they do address your weaknesses, because here's the thing, Herbie, you can draft offensive linemen, you can get free agent pickups, but if they don't work out, you can't just say, "Yeah, well, I tried." Like Herbie, you have a franchise quarterback that you know has only been healthy for one season in his whole pro/college career. Your priority number one over even getting weapons. Like getting Tyreek Hill was a godsend because we needed Mike McDaniel understood he had to rebuild to his confidence because Brian, that whole situation we talked about it 100 times. But where I fault Greer Herbie was that at the end of the day, as the GM, you have to make sure you do everything in your power to protect your greatest asset. And any GM's greatest asset is their quarterback, Herbie. That's their greatest asset. And even if you can't fully protect them, because it's a lot to ask when you know the guy's injury history, why wasn't there more emphasis on having a quality backup, at least someone who could run the offense, even if they can't run it like Tua does, have at least kind of like an offense for them, right? The reason why I say this, Herbie, is because we saw this with Green Bay. Jordan Love goes out, Malik Willis goes in. They installed the Malik Willis offense. We've seen this with other coaches. Okay. So at the end, like we've seen this with Mike Tomlin. He has his offense for Justin Fields, he has his offense for Russell Wilson. Like, and maybe that's something that I could point to Mike McDaniel for. But at the end of the day, Mike McDaniel's not the one going out and getting the backups. He's not the one signing for these guys. That's Chris Greer. So at the end of the day, Herbie, I think what a lot of fans can't forgive Griff for is just the fact that we've had some great homegrown talent that we let walk, like Christian Wilkins, even though he got hurt this year. But Andrew Van Ginkel is balling over there in Minnesota. Like, we've signed some guys in the past that weren't, listen, a guy is not gonna hit on every pick, and you damn sure don't want him to miss on every pick. But I just feel like in all the time that he's been here, like he's been an average GM, and because he's been an average GM, we've gotten average results. And I think if we can get someone who maybe could be more in lockstep with Mike McDaniel, someone who also understands the importance of making sure we get Herbie. If Tua ever gets the O line that he needs, I'm not asking Herbie for the Lions offensive line. I'm not asking for the Eagles offensive line. Like y'all don't want to see Tua behind in the offensive lines like that. He'll be looking just as good, if not better, than Goff. I won't say Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts can run with the ball, but like just
I
give me
can
a
say
top 10.
Jalen
Give
Hurts,
me
bro. Listen, Jalen Hurts got his own wide receivers ready to slap the shit out of him, bro. I'm comfortable in saying Jalen Hurts. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and transition over to your week 14 observations, man. So what we got, man?
all right, man. So these are week 14 red zone ops.
Week
First
14
one on
red zone ops, man. What you got for me, dog?
So for the first one, I got it's crazy to think about how much better of a team the Browns are with just about any other quarterback than Deshaun Watson.
You
And
know
I gotta
what's
say, Herbie,
crazy about that is that there are people online I've seen in the comment sections who are trying to find ways to, for whatever reason. Like I don't know what it is about Deshaun Watson, and when it comes to black folks and protecting black quarterbacks that do not need to be protected, Deshaun Watson is number one. He is Kaiser Soze, dog. He
numero
is
uno.
numero uno. You niggas do not, and I mean you niggas, do not have to cape for Deshaun Watson. I heard people saying, "Oh, the O line wasn't good." People was, I'm like, the nigga sucks. Everybody who
He
plays
sucks.
behind him is better than him. We don't have to
It's
cape for
ridiculous.
Deshaun Watson, dog. This ain't Rosa Parks. He's
Not
not
anymore.
Emmett Till. Nobody screwed him
Hell
over.
no.
He did it to
Nope.
himself. he
100%.
did it. He did it to himself, man. What were you for to say though,
100%.
Rod? What were you going to say, bro?
No, I agree with everything you're saying. What I was gonna say was just that ever even watching. I mean, granted, Jameis he went up against the Steelers defense, and the Steelers have one of the best defenses in football. So you
But
can
it
only
still looks
expect
like a
Jameis to do so
functional
much.
offense. It still looks like
Hundred
functional
percent.
football.
100%. That's
All
that's the
right.
point I was gonna make. It's just the fact that you see Jameis behind the under center, and not even just Jameis. We saw Joe Flacco. We've seen other guys who are not the $230 million men get behind under center, and actually the Browns look like a competent team. And it just makes me wonder, Herbie, like what a fucking shit mess that the fucking Browns are in, because you have to pay him. It's 230 million guaranteed. Like there is no escape from that. And it's just how sick is the organization? How sick are the fans? Herbie, I remember. I remember the days, and my a lot of you fellow Dolphin fans, y'all remember this shit too. This bullshit where there was niggas talking about, oh man, y'all should get Deshaun Watson. Y'all should, man, Tua trash. Y'all should get Deshaun Watson. Huh? Herbie, you want to talk about dodging? We ain't even dodge a bullet, bro. We dodged a missile. Okay? Because Deshaun Watson is legitimately the quarterback version of a fucking lemon. Like he is just like he was sold to the fucking Browns as the savior quarterback because prior to all the allegations and him getting suspended and disappearing from football, he was a top 5 quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But sometimes Herbie, he's been so bad since he's been back. I kind of almost sometimes want to go back and watch film just to see was he ever really as good as I thought he was,
Oh, he
or am I
was.
just
He
saying the shit that
just
everybody else was saying?
nah. He was.
Like
But
that's
but
how.
but that's what makes
No,
it
the point I'm
crazier.
making. I know he was. That's the point I'm making, Herbie. He's gotten so bad, you can't even believe that he was once at the mountaintop of the quarterbacks in the league. Like it's like Herbie, I can't think of a drop off like this that didn't involve an actual physical injury. Like I can't. Like I can't.
Me neither, man. All right, what's the next one you got for me, dog?
Next red zone thought. Darnold is having the best game of his career.
I'm happy. I'm happy. Rod shit got cut off, bro. I don't want no praise. Arnold, fuck him. You getting banished, Rod. I'm sorry. I know you came back. I don't want no praise for Sam Darnold. Fuck Sam Darnold. Fuck him and his 5 fucking touchdowns. I
No,
don't
no,
care.
no, 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 no. No, you know what? I got cut off before I could finish my red zone thought. So, Sam Darnold's having the best game of his career, 300 plus yards, 5 touchdowns,
22 or
setting
28,
up
300.
Min-
Yeah, just oh god.
setting up Minnesota fans in diabolical fashion. And the reason why I say that he's setting up Minnesota fans in diabolical fashion, I see some of you Minnesota fans online, y'all feeling hype, y'all feeling good. Y'all talk about, no, man, this Sam, he different. My Sam Donald, he ain't your Sam Donald. He ain't the Sam Donald that you know. This Sam Darnold, he's new. He's different. He's changed. And I'm just here to tell y'all that tigers don't change their stripes. Leopards don't change their spots, Herbie. And it's only a matter of time. And I don't want to sound like a hater, Herbie, because I have nothing against Sam Darnold. Like, I don't know the guy.
Yeah, of course.
But what I do know, Herbie, is what I do know is a guy that loves to give the ball to the other team. And we're gonna see come playoff time because Minnesota's 100% getting in. We're gonna see come playoff time what Sam Darnold really got. When the heat is really on, we're gonna see what he made of.
Yeah, so
Or we're gonna see him go back to what he once was.
my
Go
observation
ahead,
on
I'm
that
good.
is two things, right? One, I I understand why Minnesota fans might feel the way that they feel because Sam Darnold is cooking, and this is coming from somebody who is not a Sam Darnold fan. I am a Sam Darnold hater. I will ride this hate train to the day I die. But this puts the Minnesota Vikings, and we got Rob back. This puts the Minnesota Vikings in a impossible position because you have to offer him a contract extension. Like, so say what you want to say. Like, if they don't offer him a contract extension, that means that Kevin O'Connell thinks that he's ass and it's entirely the system. And JJ McCarthy could be doing the same thing. Oh, and that is where we are with Sam Darnold. So it is funny that Sam Darnold is going to be up. We hold on. I don't even. Bro, hey, you throwing me off, bro? Because that shit keep going in and out. Bro. I don't know what to say, solo or do double shot. I don't know what to say, bro. Like it's straight, bro. It's straight. But no, what I was saying, I don't know if you caught it, but what I was saying is this: they are in an impossible position because Sam Darnold earned a contract extension. But are they going to give it to him? Because before this game started, there was a report that he and the Minnesota Vikings have had no conversations about a contract extension because the Minnesota Vikings understand what they have. They know who Sam Darnold is. But at the same time, when somebody is being
They just drafted JJ McCarthy too.
but when you're that
Right? Like
productive, you have to bet on a person to continue that. Like, however you want to slice it, bro. 22 for 28 for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns and 200-yard receivers in one game against the Atlanta Falcons. And again, are the Atlanta Falcons the best defense in the world? Absolutely not. But they're still a professional defense. Sam Darnold is making plays. He makes plays out of structure. It ain't all the system. And this is coming from somebody who does not like Sam Darnold, who is a Sam Darnold truther. I will ride this to the day I die. I'll be the last Sam Darnold truther on planet Earth. He will show you who he is. But with that said, he deserves a contract extension. And if they do not offer him one, that will speak volumes. Volumes. Because nobody that has been as productive as Sam Darnold has been walks out of a building without a contract extension, whether they have a quarterback in waiting or not. So that's going to tell you everything. And I'm super intrigued to see what's going to happen at this offseason with the Minnesota Vikings. And it's super dependent on what happens in the playoffs, like you said. He's gonna throw that pick. I know it. He's gonna do it because Sam can't.
Just
Sam,
waiting for it.
he's just waiting for it, man.
He
All
can't
right,
help
man.
himself, man. He can't help himself, man. Yeah.
All right,
All right.
man.
So last three red zone thoughts.
All right,
Go.
let's just run through them, bro. Blitz him.
Uh, yeah, blitz them. So the LA Rams have about as wide a variance as any team in the league. In this first half, they've given Buffalo everything they can handle. And you know what? I'll just knock out the Buffalo one too because it's from the same game. And this was early in the game. This was before the end of the game. But even though the division is locked up and it's always nice to see the Bills get their asses kicked. Now,
Nah, that
granted, they
was some
came
hater
back
shit,
and they made
man.
the score.
Yeah, he was on some
Oh
hater
yeah.
shit. Dude.
Oh,
I
100%.
respect it. I respect
Oh
it.
yeah,
I
100%.
respect
100%.
it. I respect
Fuck
it.
them. Fuck them. Fuck the Bills, my nigga. Fuck them. Yeah, I know Josh Allen is gonna win MVP this year. This loss ain't gonna do shit. Like the MVP is his, bro. He's gonna get it. But
Yep.
fuck the Bills, man. All right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna say this. I'm not gonna elaborate on the game or anything like that because it ultimately doesn't mean anything. They're locked into the playoffs. But it's the games like these, Herbie, that when you think the Bills are ready for the Super Bowl, it's these games you look at and you go, are they?
Yeah, that's not a Super Bowl
Will they?
defense. That's not a Super Bowl pass rush. That's not a Super Bowl secondary. And again, they are suffering from the same thing that the Lions are suffering, bro. At some point, dog,
Mad
you
injuries.
can't deal with that many injuries, dog. Like, this is more than I could ever remember. The NFL has become a game of attrition, not talent, not personnel. It is a game of attrition and a game of depth. The healthiest team is going to win the Super Bowl now. The Lions, and this is a testament to the Lions, won a game on Thursday on short notice, or not so short notice, but a short week with 13 players on IR. The
Well,
most in NFL.
they didn't have a short. They did play 3
Oh
games in
yeah,
11 days, but
yeah.
they played from
Because
Thursday to Thursday.
yeah, they played Thursday to Thursday because of Thanksgiving. That's right. But still,
But they did play 3 games in 11 days. Still, that's a lot.
they
Yeah,
3 games in 11 days
Yeah.
with 13 players on IR, which is, I think, an NFL record for the most. That is the most for a team that is won 12 games to have that many players on IR.
I think
So-
they have like one starter on defense, bro. Like it's ridiculous. Like
It's
you
a
know what?
game-
It's a credit to Dan Campbell and the culture they built in there. That the fact that they still get guys that can come in and give them quality fucking minutes.
No, absolutely. But
it's a
the point that
testament
I'm
to
trying to make is that you see why they're giving up 30 points a game now. You see why the Bills just gave up
Right.
38 points to the Rams, a 500 team. At the end of the day,
44.
44, you're right, because that last touchdown at the end. You need your best players. You need starters. Backups are backups for a reason. The healthiest teams win. And shout out to the Chiefs and the fucking Chargers having the middest game of all time, bro. Don't ever talk to me about no fucking Justin Herbert, man. I'm tired of this shit, man. Leave this man out of any conversation, bro. I'm tired of this, bro. This man continues to be mid on every big game imaginable, bro. I'm tired of it, man. Yeah, that got my face, man. 3-0, dog.
All right. Of course, man. What a shocker, man. What a shocker. And my ticket's already bust, but I knew they wasn't come through. My final red zone thought, and it's a quick one. Once again, a promising start to the season for the Arizona Cardinals comes to a screeching halt.
Man, you
And you
knew
know
that
what, Herbie?
Call of Duty came out, man. Call of Duty came out. You know what was going to happen, bro.
They claimed my dog, man. My dog threw
Yeah,
2 picks
yeah.
thinking about Call of Duty today, man. He was thinking about his kill to death ratio today. He wasn't even thinking about the game today, man. It's crazy. Come on, Kyler. They paying you, bro. You letting them down, man. Put the sticks down,
there
my
are
boy.
stats
Put
that
the
show
sticks down.
They showed his stats since the new Call of Duty came out, bro. They've been ass ever since, dog. It's like he's not beating none of the
that's
allegations, dog.
crazy.
It's bad, bro. It's bad, bro. It's hilarious.
That's crazy, man.
All right, man. I don't got anything on my end. And shit, we already at an hour. That's normally how we do pretty much anyway, man. So that's a full-on show, man. So any last words before we get about here, Rob?
As always, I would love to thank all the people who are watching this, all the people who will watch this. Obviously, we love the support of the channel. Always thank you guys for tuning in. It's always appreciated, and you know what I'm saying? We'll be back at this shit next week. I already know what time it is.
Man, we'll
That's
see
it.
y'all next week for week 15 instant reactions. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I forgot to say that. Please like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only way to truly grow on this platform on YouTube, man. So it will be an honor if you do that. And it'll be an honor to continue with this journey with you all, man. So see y'all next week, man. As we say, deuces.
Doses.